Okay, so this message is for Ronnie. There was quite a reading here trying to see what's going on. I don't know if Ronnie is male or female, but what it looks like, okay, it starts off with needing patience, but it also starts off with a guardian angel watching over you. This would have happened in around December time frame. You have to weigh up two situations. What it sounds like, Ronnie, is that you have the opportunity to have an affair, and I think you're going to take it, or you already did. I am late in reading this for you. Um, you're looking into the past, and you have intense sadness and regret. Um, Even though, I mean, you could be a guy, but I'm getting a female energy, so maybe you're a female. Um, I'm feeling strongly you are. If not, you just have a lot of female energy. But it seems like you also had problems at one point with money or with business and a love that wasn't reciprocated, okay? And that can be tough. But, Ronnie, I feel like, and again, I'm speaking to you as a divine feminine, okay? Because if you're a male, I'm sorry. I'm just getting a lot of feminine energy. So I'm going to say, Ronnie, that you are a female. I feel like your partner is very stable, very responsible, um, good father material. You may have a child. Um, and if you don't have a child, then you're going to be pregnant with one. And this child is going to be very quiet, very studious, very charming. But I also feel like there's something special about this child. Um, Maybe they'll walk a spiritual path. Maybe they'll have some form of autism, but that's also coming out. So let me put that out there. Um, I'm showing Ronnie that I think you were maybe bored at home or your partner couldn't keep you interested. And I think you interpreted that as they didn't love you. And that was a mistake because I'm not showing your partner didn't love you. I'm just showing that they're quiet, they keep to themselves, um, not very good at communication. So maybe you misread that. And I feel like you were chatting more with the opposite sex, made some friends, well, acquaintances because they weren't lasting friends, 6 months or less. Um, but you also met someone that was responsible, ambitious, a natural counselor, someone that maybe you even worked with them, but it was real easy for you to speak to them and to let your feelings out. And I think I feel like they might have even either a business trip or a weekend away, but I felt they offered it to you and you took it. Um, and then I think you may have regretted it. I am showing this individual is very handsome, darker tones, hair, skin, eyes can be any color, but definitely magnetic, very passionate, high sexual drive. Just really hard to resist for all women, not just you. So don't feel bad if you fell for that. Um, but pretty much he's comes across as the whole package, and he knows it. So very confident with himself. Um, I almost wonder if you thought he was your soulmate. Um, but I want to say the first person you were with was your soulmate, and I wonder if that's the regret you have because I do feel like intense sadness here. So I feel like you misunderstood the situation, and yeah, your partner didn't communicate, but for you to up and go and look for something somewhere else, I don't think you communicated very well yourself. I'm feeling some kind of force, so I wonder if maybe you were intrigued by this other individual. I think they offered you an escape, not just physically, but financially. And I think somewhere along the way, you regretted it. Um, I don't know if, I mean, you guys definitely had intimacy, but it's bordering being voluntary and forced. So I don't know if you were so taken by him and in the moment you realized, I don't want to do this. And at that point, he didn't give you a choice. Or you told yourself that you felt forced to do this. But there is a sense of being forced in there. Um, so I just want to say I'm sorry ahead of time if it was forced upon you, and I think you should seek some type of counseling for that. I also feel like maybe, I don't know if you were caught or if you tried to come clean. You know, maybe your partner noticed something in you had it been forced, and you couldn't talk about it, and when you finally did, instead of being helped, you were received with criticism. And you probably had to stand up for yourself, which is very difficult in this situation. I'm not saying it's your fault that it happened, but the cards are saying you didn't have to be there. So, again, I'm not saying this is your fault, and it doesn't make anything like that right in any way, shape, or form, okay? But I do show that you went somewhere you weren't supposed to go. Um, you opened the door to something that you should have just kept closed. So I just think everybody has to be accountable, and maybe that's the regret you have, is that you know you were somewhere you weren't supposed to be, and had you not been there, none of this would have happened. Again, I'm not blaming you. I think you should seek counseling, and even if it's with a family member or friend, professional preferred, but you know, sometimes it's all you have. So I can see that you've had to stick up for yourself, and understandably so. And you've had a rough life in the past anyway. I mean, so maybe you felt you deserved it. Well, you don't. So let me clarify that. There was a lot of lust there, a lot of kinkiness, a lot of perversion. And maybe you did enjoy it. And maybe it was voluntary the first or second time. But I feel like maybe when you wanted to end it or something, or maybe this guy promised you something and didn't deliver. Um, Either way, it's done and it's in the past. And if you didn't already have a child, then you got pregnant in doing this. Um, Again, if you had the child, like I said earlier, they would have light skin, light hair, probably born under the sign of Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, loving, quiet, studious, and then again, they either have a spiritual path to follow, or they could have some sort of autism. I don't know why that keeps coming up. Maybe they're just really quiet, right? And that could be really to themselves. Um, there is a possible road trip, either with family or friends, or um, something there, just within your own nation. You're not going to fly anywhere. It'll be somewhere within driving distance. Um, I want you to know that this is going to end up being good for you. You're going to have a good ending, even though the road there was not as good. Maybe had good moments, but um, you were just with someone that was a little above your skill set. They were cunning, they were smart, and they knew what they were doing, okay? And I think you just maybe fell in love with the idea of love. Maybe lust was confused with love. Um, but you know, that's probably part of this family upset you're having, even if it's not with your original partner. Maybe your family, maybe when you reached out for help, they're like, why'd you do that? Just remember, it takes two to tango, so don't put all this upon yourself. But help and support is there for you, so I suggest you take it. And then also, you just need to know that you do have a high spirit, and it started off this way, so I'm glad it's ending this way. There is a high guardian angel for you, watching over you from heaven. They're watching everything, and they're saying that it is going to be okay. Take care.